specialist specializing in stress reduction. We all need John Edmonson. How are you, John?
Stevie, good morning. Thanks for having me on your show today.
Well, nice to have you on our show today, and people are rolling their eyes because I talk about sugar. Okay, a lot. We have a club called Sugar Busters where we try and do 30 grams of processed sugar a day or less, and a fancy schmancy certificate that we send out for people that are able to do it. But you're finding in this study, John, that hidden sugar linked to depression and anxiety. Tell me about this.
Sure. And first of all, wow, the Sugar Busters sounds like a wonderful idea and a great thing for people. Because what we're seeing in this study was that they took a look at people, about 8,000 actually, over a long period of time. And what they noticed, particularly with men, is that those that consumed over the amount that you said, more closer to 67 grams of sugar a day, were more likely to suffer from depression and or anxiety than those who consumed, closer to that 30 or 40 amount of grams of sugar every day. So it's fantastic what you're doing. It could be helping a lot of people out there.
But I mean, we already obviously know the obvious, the layups. We know diabetes. We know now a little link to cancers, some Alzheimer's. Is finding all kinds of bad with a bunch of processed sugar. How do we know about anxiety and depression? I mean, how they do? I know they did the study, but you believe it's conclusive? It's big enough? It's broad enough? All those things?
Well, when I look at the study, I did see where they were talking about how sugar and other fat contents can create a protein that could contribute to anxiety and depression. I can tell you from my experience as a therapist is that when patients or clients come in, if they are consuming high levels of sugar, that's the first thing that we address.
Really?
And when we shift and when we shift and change their diet, that many times, not always, many times makes them feel better and improves their mood overall.
So people come in and talk to you because you're a therapist?
Correct.
Okay, so you're not saying, well, tell me about your childhood and all that. You're asking about their diet?
Well, we do all of it. Tell me about your childhood, too. Sure.
Wow,
tell me about your day. Tell me about your life.
Yeah.
But diet has to be in there because if it's not, it's incomplete. And that's the piece that many people miss. They say, well, I'm so depressed. I feel lethargic. I don't feel happy. I don't feel motivated. It could be childhood. It could be a life stressor. Or it could be you have a really bad diet. And one of those is probably sugar.
It's
and
crazy.
Sugar's really...
it's just crazy.
It's not the best. Oh, go ahead.
I'm just saying it's just crazy, all the stuff.
Right.
That, I mean...
And it seems to me if you have problems, a lot of times you want to eat, a gallon of ice cream. We see it in the movies all the time.
Yeah.
Or you want to solve the problem by having a brownie. I mean, what do you say to that, John?
Well, of course you're going to want to, because when you initially eat it, it feels great. For most of us, if I'm having a bad day, have the brownie or the chocolate bar, it's going to boost me up, boost my mood. But then the price we pay is that accelerated heart rate, which if you have anxiety, kicks it up a little bit more. Or the crash, the sugar crash afterwards, that can make you feel even more depressed. And in fact, part of it is, too, that sugar is so addictive that in some studies it's proven to be more addictive than cocaine itself.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I always say we do a Sugar Buster segment every week. I got a former Mr. Tennessee bodybuilder guy that Warren Honeycutt, and he's our honorary chair, our inspiration, our motivator. But I always say, if you don't like how you look, if you don't like how you feel, if you don't like how you think, I don't think there's any question. I believe my thinking is more acute without sugar.
Oh, I think it's very true. The healthier you eat, the more you put in your body, the much more clear you're going to think.
Unbelievable. I mean, because in society, we just have fun with all the donuts and all the fun. And it is fun. But if you look at it, and again, I get a little PETA-ish. If you look at it as rat poison, John, it's just not so good.
That's the amazing thing about it. I think you have a great point, because if someone walked in and opened up some food for you and said, here is some poison, you'd scream, you'd run, you'd leave the room. But someone walks in and says donuts, you go, thank you.
Yeah,
oh,
but
right.
that's the extreme kind of PETA side of me, because I don't want to do that thing. And I become the sugar police, which I really don't like, because people are worried to eat around me.
Right. People come in the room with the donut, they turn around, they eat
what's
it outside
that?
of Stevie's
John,
office.
I need therapy for that. I mean, come on, I didn't mean to become the sugar police.
Well, so you may be stressing them out. They might want to start craving a little bit more. Be careful there.
That's
John Edmonson, how do people find you?
It's marulamedical.com, M-A-R-U-L-A medical.com.
M-A-R-U-L-A medical.com. Thanks for the chat. Appreciate it. Thanks for the free session, too.
Anytime.
Thank you for listening. I'm Kelly Weiss. A new study shows a link between a diet high in sugar and depression in men. The study is in the journal Scientific Reports. John Edmondson is a wellness expert in Dallas, and he joins us to talk about this. John, talk to us about the study and what it really means.
You know, the basic idea behind this study was 8,000 people were followed over 22 years. And what it noticed was that if they had, those participants, about 67 grams of sugar a day, they were 23% more likely to actually have depression or anxiety. Now, in a way that makes a lot of sense, because if you have anxiety, you're already probably going to feel in your body some discomfort. You may be a little bit anxious. Your heart rate may be up more than others. And if you have sugar, that's going to increase your heart rate and make you feel a lot more anxious. And depression makes sense, too, because after we have a lot of sugar, you know, we're going to have that insulin or glucose crash. And we feel lethargic and lack of energy and lack of focus, which could increase someone's feelings of depression. It's not just sugar, it's processed sugar is the important piece.
We get a smoothie and we think, this is going to be really good for me, but there's a lot of sugar in some of these.
And we hear a lot of, well, I'm getting healthier, I'm having these protein drinks or these snack bars. You flip it over and you look, and the amount of sugar in them sometimes is much more than other things that you think wouldn't be healthy for you. In fact, a lot of low-fat meals tend to have more sugar in them than do some of the regular meals. If you pay attention to how you feel before you eat it, how you feel when you eat it, and how you feel afterwards, basically mindfulness, then you're able to make great choices and become your own dietitian.
Wellness expert John Edmondson, we really appreciate your time. By the way, ladies listening, the link between sugar and depression was not found in women in this study.